Hard to believe, but it marks 40 years since the first case of HIV was discovered here in the U.S.
Joining us now live, Vince Crisostomo. He is the Director of Aging Services at San Francisco's AIDS Foundation. Vince, appreciate you being here with us tonight. Obviously a monumental time in this battle. Where would you say that we stand at this point now, 40 years in?
Well, I would say we've made a lot of progress, and there are a lot of things we got right. But having just gone through a second epidemic, there are still a few things we could work on, things around race, things around equity. There's still some work to do.
You know, Vince, I have to say that I was doing news here in San Francisco when the very first cases of AIDS were being discussed and being discovered. It was an absolutely frightening time, and the pain of what people were experiencing. I mean, there were people committing suicide. It was so beyond our capacity to even understand what this horrible disease was. We have come a long way. Do you see any parallel at all with the pandemic that we're facing now? Have we learned a great deal from how we handled HIV?
I like to think we have. I mean, it's been interesting for me to watch. I mean, the important thing about a pandemic or something like this is that people have to care about each other. People need to protect their neighbor. You know, they need to protect themselves. But, you know, I like to think that history teaches us. And, you know, one of the things that I think could have been done better is a more coordinated effort. I mean, we were very lucky in San Francisco. I think COVID didn't impact us the way it did other communities because we had that experience with HIV. I don't think we can say that for the rest of the country. I think, you know, HIV has killed over 700,000 people since 1981. COVID, I think the U.S. passed 600,000 this week, and that was in a year. Mm-hmm. So there's still some things we need to get right.
Since we're talking about COVID, there is some evidence. A doctor in Atlanta has published some data. Obviously, we're starting to learn more that COVID actually hurt the fight against HIV and AIDS. Have you experienced any of that anecdotally or otherwise?
Well, I think what it did was it pointed out that there are some weaknesses in the system. I know that I've been living with HIV for 34 years, and many of the long-term survivors, the AIDS generation, people who lived through the epidemic, I mean, they've already experienced multiple traumas, and they were re-traumatized during this period. I mean, this isolation. But no, I think one of the things that I think how we got through this, how we got through the first pandemic and this one was just our own resilience, to focus on that and trying to look forward to like a world or life that we wanted to live when we came out. Because, you know, one thing that we do know is that eventually this will pass. And what kind of life is it that you know, that you want to be living? I was 28 when I tested positive, and I found out I was positive. I was told I would not live to see 30. And I turned 60 in February. And so, you know, one of the things that I think that has taught me is that, you know, never count yourself out. And I'm grateful. And, you know, some people have survivor's guilt, but I heard something today at the conference that we just hosted, the HIV and Aging Conference in Northern California, is that those of us who didn't make it, they would want us to thrive. They would want us to live the best possible lives that we could live. And that's what I plan to do.
Well, you are.
In the time that I have left for me.
Vince, yes, you are quite a miracle, for sure. I know we have to wrap, but it's not lost on us that, you know, the person that came into prominence during this time of AIDS when he was with the NIH is Dr. Anthony Fauci, and here we have him again, you know, handling this other pandemic. Do you see any kind of synergy, you know, what he brought from his experience with the AIDS activists and bringing them into the fold? What are your observations?
Both he and Deborah Burke often cited that they learned a lot from the HIV an AIDS epidemic and the response, and particularly in San Francisco. And, but one thing that I think that everybody could have learned, like back then, the government stayed silent, it wasn't coordinated. The same thing kind of happened. And as a result of that, they say silence equals death. And people's refusal to stand up and say that this is not right, that something is going terribly wrong, it caused the deaths. We're at 600,000 people. That shouldn't have happened. It could, at least half those deaths could have been prevented had there been a better response.
Indeed.
And I don't blame Fauci, but it's like, is it going to take how many pandemics is it going to take for us to find out that these things disproportionately affect brown and black bodies? I mean, these are the things that we should have learned the first time around, and we obviously didn't. And hopefully there's not going to be a next time.
Hopefully there won't be a next time, but everything we hear that there probably will be, and hopefully we're better prepared. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thanks for covering this story. It's not over yet. People are still getting this, and there's still work to do. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, you mentioned 600,000 Americans dying of COVID. 700,000 Americans died of AIDS in the past 40 years. So numbers that you hate to see, but Vince Crisostomo, we appreciate your time tonight, shedding some light on this topic. He is the Director of Aging Services at San Francisco's AIDS Foundation. Have a good night, Vince.
Good night, Vince.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks.
Coming up, another mountain lion caught on camera, this time in Millbrae. What the Department of Fish and Wildlife has to say about it and what the big cat is out there hunting for.
And we're tracking your week.